For thousands of years, humans have told stories of places more perfect than the world we live in. Islands of impossible technology, cities built of gold, hidden valleys where people never age. Three names have risen above all others: Atlantis, El Dorado, Shangri-La. Were they real? Were they warnings? Or were they mirrors, reflecting the hopes and fears of every civilization that imagined them? Today, we explore the truth behind the world's most famous lost civilizations and why the myths refuse to die. Despite Plato's intentions, the world never let Atlantis stay a metaphor. Why? Because parts of the story echo real disasters from the ancient world. 3,600 years ago, the island of Santorini erupted in one of the largest volcanic explosions in recorded history. A thriving Bronze Age civilization vanished. Their cities, art, and trade networks resembled the advanced society Plato described, a real-world catastrophe that feels suspiciously like his tale. But there are many other candidates. For example, far out in the Atlantic, the Azores sit atop a volcanic ridge. Unusual underwater formations, misidentified as ruins, inspired theories of a submerged city, though evidence is weak. Another oddity that puzzles historians is known as the Risha structure. In the heart of Mauritania lies a perfect circular formation nearly identical to Plato's description of Atlantis' capital. Geologists say it's natural, but its shape is so uncanny, the internet can't stop asking questions. Atlantis isn't just a lost city, it's a warning, a civilization at the peak of power destroyed by its own excess. The story never dies because it reflects a universal fear that progress can be undone overnight, and a universal hope that somewhere, buried under waves or sand, there might be proof we were not the first advanced society on Earth. Thousands of miles across the ocean, another legend took shape, but this one began with a misunderstanding. Deep in the Andes, the Muisca people held a sacred coronation ritual. Their new leader covered himself in gold dust, sailed to the center of Lake Guatavita, and offered treasures to the gods. Spanish explorers heard the stories and twisted it. El Hombre Dorado, the Golden Man, became El Dorado, the Golden City, and then an entire Golden Empire. And so commenced a deadly search for a city that never existed. In 1541, Gonzalo Pizarro led hundreds of men deep into the Amazon in search of the Golden Kingdom. Starvation, disease, and betrayal tore the expedition apart. Only a handful survived. One of them, Francisco de Orellana, was carried by the river until he became the first European to navigate the Amazon. Decades later, English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh convinced Queen Elizabeth I that he could find El Dorado. He never found anything. His obsession contributed to his downfall, and ultimately, his execution. For over 200 years, armies, adventurers, and treasure hunters marched into the rainforest, chasing a city made of gold. Most never returned. The myth killed more people than any treasure could ever repay. But El Dorado's tragedy runs deeper than failed expeditions. The Spanish crown used the myth as a political weapon. They claimed their invasions were searches for golden cities, when in truth they were campaigns of conquest. Indigenous gold, culture, and land were stripped away under the banner of a lie. In the end, El Dorado was never about wealth. It was a story of spirituality and offering, twisted into greed. Unlike Atlantis or El Dorado, Shangri-La isn't ancient. It was invented in 1933 by British author James Hilton in his novel Lost Horizon. He described a hidden Himalayan valley, peaceful, eternal, wise, untouched by war or time. The world was recovering from World War I and staring down World War II. People needed hope, a sanctuary, a place where humanity could live in balance. Hilton never set foot in Tibet. Instead, he pieced together stories from explorers, photos, and National Geographic. Breathtaking mountains, longevity legends, a place Western journalists romanticized heavily. The architecture he imagined was heavily inspired by Tibetan monasteries, which inspire images of ancient awe and grandeur, communicating a deep connection to forces beyond Western understanding, a mythical Eastern ethos which captivated the minds of readers. In 2001, China went one step further, renaming Zhongdian to Shangri-La County to attract tourism. A fictional place became real because people wanted it to be. This is an instance of fiction becoming reality, an embrace of the whimsical and mythical, and more importantly, proof that there is hope and inspiration still around in this world. Why do we hold on to Shangri-La? Well, it's quite simple. Atlantis is a warning. El Dorado is a deception, but Shangri-La is a dream. It represents the world we wish existed, peaceful, eternal, harmonious, a refuge from chaos. Shangri-La endures not because it's real, but because we need it. Of course, Atlantis, El Dorado, and Shangri-La aren't the only legends humanity has chased across oceans, deserts, and time. Before we close, here's a brief look at a few lost cities that didn't make today's deep dive, but still capture our imagination and remind us how much of our past is still hidden. British explorer Percy Fawcett believed deep in the Amazon lay the remains of an ancient, advanced civilization he called Zed. He disappeared during his final attempt to find it, adding a real-life mystery to an already mythical place. Recent discoveries of massive Amazonian earthworks suggest he may have been closer to the truth than anyone realized. For centuries, the city of Troy was thought to be nothing more than Homeric poetry. Then, archaeologists uncovered its ruins in modern-day Turkey, proving that legends can hide real history beneath layers of story and sand. Thule, the land beyond the known world. Ancient Greek explorers wrote of a mysterious northern land where the sun barely set and the ocean turned to ice. Whether Thule was Iceland, Norway, the Faroe Islands, or something more symbolic, remains an open question. Nan Madol, the Venice of the Pacific. Built on a coral reef using massive basalt stones that still puzzle engineers today, Nan Madol rises mysteriously from the waters of Micronesia. Its origins are debated, its purpose unclear, and its construction nearly impossible. Heraklion and Canopus, Egypt's sunken twins. For centuries, ancient writers described two wealthy Egyptian port cities that had seemingly vanished. In 2000, divers rediscovered them, perfectly preserved beneath the Mediterranean. Statues, temples, ships, entire worlds lost to rising waters. Cahokia, America's forgotten metropolis. Near modern-day St. Louis, once stood a massive organized city larger than medieval London, built by indigenous Mississippian peoples. At its height, it shaped trade, culture, and astronomy, only to be abandoned for reasons still debated. The city of Ubar, the Atlantis of the Sands. In the Arabian desert, legends spoke of a city swallowed by the dunes as punishment from the gods. Archaeologists eventually identified ancient caravan hubs beneath collapsed ground, suggesting that Ubar, or something like it, may have really existed. Vinland, Norse America. Long dismissed as saga myth, Vinland seemed like a fantasy, until archaeologists uncovered Viking settlements in Newfoundland, a lost world rediscovered and proof that explorers reached North America centuries before Columbus. Atlantis, El Dorado, Shangri-La, three myths born in different eras, thousands of miles apart, but all telling the same story, a civilization destroyed by its own pride, a kingdom corrupted by greed, a paradise preserved in our imagination. These stories are more than legends. They are warnings, dreams, and anchors for the human mind. Myths exist because societies need them. They help us explain what we fear, what we desire, and what we hope we can still become. Before science, myth gave order to chaos. Before history, it preserved memory. And even today, surrounded by data and digital noise, we still turn to myth because it offers something deeper, meaning Atlantis teaches us the cost of arrogance. El Dorado exposes the danger of greed. Shangri-La reminds us of the peace we long for, but often fail to create. Myths aren't true in a literal sense, but they are emotionally, culturally, and morally true in ways that facts alone can never be. We invent lost civilizations because we're searching for something, warnings about our future, escapes from our present, proof that humanity has risen and fallen before, and might rise again. Myths are the connective tissue between our past and our possibilities. And maybe, just maybe, we're hoping that somewhere out there, hidden beneath the waves, inside the jungle or behind the mountains, a piece of these legends might still be waiting. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of lost civilizations and the myths that shaped them, I'd genuinely appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. That one click helps these videos reach more people who share the same curiosity about history, mystery, and the stories we've almost forgotten. Subscribing also lets you stay connected as we dive into even more ancient puzzles, unexplained ruins, and the legends that still echo through time. This channel is growing, and every new subscriber makes it possible for me to keep improving the research, storytelling, and production quality. So if this video sparked your imagination or taught you something new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There are countless more mysteries waiting just beneath the surface, and I'd love for you to join me as we uncover them.